The Los Angeles Dodgers had to go 5 games with Montreal before they could claim their 17th National League championship. It came on a 9th-inning home run, the Dodgers winning 2-1. And tonight, the Yankees and Dodgers meet in Game 1 of the 1981 World Series. And this ABC Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see all the good things for 1982 at your local Chevy dealers. Chevy makes good things happen. By Seiko and your authorized Seiko dealer. This plaque is the sign you can trust to get the best of Seiko. By the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by General Electric. GE makes products that make life easier and better. At GE, we bring good things to life. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and welcome to the World Series for 1981. This is the 11th time the Dodgers and the Yankees have faced each other in the Fall Classic. The Dodgers winning in 55 as the Brooklyn Dodgers, in 63 as the Los Angeles Dodgers. However, the edge goes to the Yankees in the 10 preceding series, 8-2. The first 2 games will be played here in New York. An off day for travel, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Los Angeles. Another day off, and then back to New York for games 6 and 7 if they are needed. There will be some changes, you'll note, in the respective lineups tonight. For New York, Reggie Jackson will not play. Lou Piniella will start in right field. That may mean the Yankees lose some foot speed in the outfield, possibly. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, Pedro Guerrero will open in center field. This is one of the toughest center fields in all of baseball to play. Rick Mundy will be in right field, despite the fact left-hander Guidry is starting for New York. Steve Yeager, a right-handed hitter, will be on call for the Dodgers behind the plate instead of Scioscia, and one of the reasons is that Yeager historically has a very hot postseason record. So that very briefly is a capsule of what we can expect tonight as the Yankees and the Dodgers get ready for the 1981 World Series. And right now, Bob Sheppard, the public address announcer here at Yankee Stadium, and the introduction of the players.
In his 3rd World Series in 5 seasons, the manager, Tom Lasorda. And now his coaches and non-starters. Number 11, Manny Motor. In the bullpen, number 29, Ron Peranowski. Number 33, Danny Ozark. Number 54, Monty Bascal. In the bullpen, number 58, Mark Cressy. Number 8, Reggie Smith. Number 14, Mike Scioscia. Number 21, Jay Johnstone. Number 26, Alejandro Pena. Number 30, Darrell Thomas. Number 34, Fernando Valenzuela. Number 35, Bob Welch. Number 37, Robert Castillo. Number 38, Dave Goltz. Number 44, Ken Landreau. Number 46, Bert Hooton. Number 48, Dave Stewart. Number 49, Tom Niedenfuhr. Number 51, Terry Foster. Number 52, Steve Sachs. And number 57, Steve Howe. And now the starting lineup. At second base, number 15, Davy Lopes. At shortstop, number 18, Bill Russell. In left field, number 12, Dusty Baker. At first base, number 6, Steve Garvey. At third base, number 10, Ron Cey. In center field, number 28, Pedro Guerrero. In right field, number 16, Rick Monday. Catching, number 7, Steve Yeager. And pitching, warming up, number 41, Jerry Royce. Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the New York Yankees. The Hall of Fame pitcher who managed the Yankees to their last World Championship in 1978, number 21, Bob Lemon. And now the coaches and non-starters. Number 8, Yogi Berra. Number 33, Mike Ferraro. Number 40, Charlie Lau. Number 41, Jeff Torborg. In the bullpen, number 42, Clyde. Number 48, Joe Altobelli. In the bullpen, number 51, Dom Scala. Number 2, Bobby Mercer. Number 12, Dave Revering. Number 13, Bobby Brown. Number 17, Oscar Gamble. Number 19, Dave Righetti. Number 23, Barry Foote. Number 24, Dennis Worth. Number 25, Tommy John. Number 27, Aurelio Rodriguez. Number 34, Dave LaRoche. Number 36, Rick Russell. Number 39, Ron Davis. Number 43, George Frazier. Number 44, Reggie Jackson. Number 45, Rudy May. Number 54, Rich Kosich. And number 55, Andre Robertson. And the starting lineup. At second base, number 30, Willie Randolph. In center field, number 22, Jerry Mumphrey. In left field, number 31, Dave Winfield. In right field, number 14, Lou Piniella. At first base, number 28, Bob Watson. At third base, number 9, Greg Nettles. catching. Number 10, Rick Cerrone. At shortstop, number 18, Larry Milbourne. And warming up, number 49, Ron Guidry. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise? We direct your attention now to the microphone near home plate. We ask you now to join Miss Pearl Bailey as she sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pearl Bailey and our national anthem. The preamble is just about done. There is one remaining moment as we check in on the weather conditions. The temperature 51 degrees. It's colder than that sometimes in April. The humidity comfortable. The wind is southwest 12 gusting about the stadium. And it has been a clear, lovely autumn day in New York City. The meeting of the umpires at home plate. You see Bob Lemon brought out the Yankee card. Reggie Smith brings out the Dodger card, gives us a chance to set the umpires for you. Larry Barnett, American League, back at the plate. Nick Colosi, National League, first base. Terry Cooney, American, at second. Doug Harvey, who is the senior umpire, at third from the National League. Rich Garcia of the American League down the left field line, and Dick Stello of the National down the right field line. The grass at Yankee Stadium has retained its color. They have not had any frost to speak of in this part of the city, and so consequently it is bright and fresh and polished and ready to go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Yankee Clipper, the great Joe DiMaggio, and the ceremonial first pitch. As soon as they finish the conversation at home plate and clear that area, Joe will come out to be introduced, and this place will roar.
One of the greatest players in the history of baseball. We celebrate the 40th anniversary of his fabulous 56-game hitting streak. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the great Yankee Hall of Famer, the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio.
Of such grace and such dignity, and he's retained it from the first time he stepped onto the sod here at Yankee Stadium to become a living legend, Joe DiMaggio. Well, that's your preamble, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to play baseball. The Yankees and Dodgers, game one.
Play ball.
Rising up like the majestic New York skyline, the Yankees emerge with their 33rd pennant and bring the World Series back to this historic baseball shrine. For Los Angeles, it's those comeback Dodgers featuring familiar veterans along with outstanding rookies. It's the 11th time the Dodgers and Yankees have squared off, and the second time that skippers Bob Lemon and Tom Lasorda have entered the picture. With 50 pennants between them, the Dodgers and Yankees have become a baseball tradition fraught with rivalry and revelry. And expectations are high for the 78th World Series as all eyes watch the Army's Golden Knights parachute team. More than 56,000 fans cheer as one, hoping to see the Yankees add to a streak of 4 straight home victories over the Dodgers, dating back to the 1977 and 78 series. Hard-throwing left-hander Jerry Royce, whose shutout wrapped up the Dodgers' first postseason comeback against Houston, faces switch-hitting center fielder Jerry Mumphrey in the bottom of the first inning.
All right, the Yankees have taken the field, and let us set them for you defensively. At first base, Bob Watson played well in the postseason. The abductor muscle pain apparently is all gone for him. Willie Randolph is at second base and back into a familiar leadoff spot at the top of the batting order tonight. Moving over to shortstop, a young man who has been a distinct surprise and so steady for them, Larry Milburn, playing in relief of Bucky Dent, who was hurt. And, of course, Greg Nettles, well, he's just great in the postseason. Against Oakland, he was tremendous with the bat. And when he can't beat you with the bat, he'll do it with the glove. In left field, a young man who is rapidly asserting himself as one of the best in the game, Dave Winfield. Out in center field, it is Jerry Mumphrey. And you may see Jerry going a little toward right tonight because Lou Piniella is in right field. Behind the plate and doing the catching, it is Rick Cerrone, and on the mound, Ron Guidry, the left-hander, whose last appearance was 9 days ago. Against the Brewers, he pitched games 1 and 5 on 3 days rest, going 4 1/3 and 4 innings, and those are his season totals there from the unusual season of 1981. It'll be Davy Lopes, Bill Russell, and Dusty Baker, and we're ready to go.
Davy Lopes, second base, number 15.
Is on the money for strike one on his first pitch. He has not given up an earned run in the first inning of any game that he has pitched this season. Foul back for strike 2. He comes out of the bullpen after his warm-up, walks to the mound, throws a breaking pitch for a strike, and then comes with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
And I think here, Keith, you're going to see where this is his strikeout pitch. If he's going to throw his slider, he usually throws it when he's ahead of the hitter. And there you can see the slider down and in.
And Davy got enough of it to stay alive at 2 strikes.
And here you'll see the sharp break of his slider, which really is his best pitch. You talk to any hitter in the American League, the reason he is as successful as he is because he can throw that pitch almost any place, in or out.
Pulled sharply down third. Nettles knocks it down, comes up throwing. Lopes stretching, can't get there. Nettles throws him out as he starts the game with a great defensive play. so very efficient defensively, isn't he?
Well, he is, Keith, and the reason he's as good at third base as he is, you can see by the depth he plays. He plays the deepest third base in the American League. It allows him to get to many more balls to his right and left, and he has the most accurate arm.
Well, Lasorda went out there not really to complain. He knew he was out. Lopes doesn't get down to first the way he used to, but rather to establish a mood, both in the minds of the umpires and his own team. He doesn't want them reverting back mentally to the ordeal they went through because of Nettles in '78.
The umpire at first base is Nick Colosi, who is from the National League. The home plate umpire, Larry Barnett, had gone into the Yankee dugout for a moment. Now he's come back. And we're ready to go with Bill Russell, who has been quite efficient himself in the postseason. Remember, Billy is playing with a fractured bone in his foot. It is not comfortable, but he's playing well.
But his percentage in the playoffs reveals the fact, it's been true of his career, that he's a good clutch hitter.
Guidry burns the outside corner for a call strike. Russell 9 for 32 in the postseason. Russell hits it sharply. Big bounce for Milburn. 2 down.
Guidry has one astonishing record, Jim. In 23 starts, he has, including postseason starts, he has not given up an earned run in the first inning.
That's amazing.
Consider that they've got the batting order placed just the way they want it.
Exactly, and also it's usually the most difficult inning for a pitcher. You come out of the bullpen where the mound might be a little bit different. You don't know what's working for you. You don't know how the hitter's going to react. And
Dusty Baker is up there now. Excuse me, Jim. This is a fellow who's had the season of his life, hasn't he?
Yep.
320.
320. Some big home runs.
Now Guidry's behind, 2 balls and no strikes.
And this is where Baker is at his best. He's a real tough 2-0, 3-1 hitter, which is the way that most hitters would like to get pitchers.
It's a high fly ball out into short right center for Randolph. Drifting back. Willie makes the catch, and Ron Guidry continues that remarkable string of holding opponents in the first inning. Yankees coming up. The defense for the Dodgers, Steve Garvey at first base, the Iron Man who saves so many throws in the dirt. Good as anybody there. Davy Lopes, a little better health than he's had for some time at second base. Over at shortstop, Bill Russell. We talked about the fact he's playing with a sore foot. Down at third base, Ron Cey. And Ronnie is playing with a wrap on his left arm. He had a broken forearm, as you can see. Out in left field, that's Dusty Baker country. He's had an exceptional year defensively as well as offensively. In center field, it's Pedro Guerrero playing center field tonight. He has not had all that much experience out there, and it's a tough place to work. Rick Mundy is in right field. He's a good, steady defensive ball player with a fine arm. Back at the plate, it is Steve Yeager, primarily because, I guess, of his experience, the fact that he's had an awful lot of good luck in postseason play, and he's a good handler of pitchers. Jerry Royce, the rangy left-hander, is on the mound, and he has been a horse through the second part of this season, and he won 3 big ball games for Los Angeles. So he'll pitch to Willie Randolph, Jerry Mumphrey, and Dave Winfield.
Royce is going to come right after him. I mean, he just throws a lot of fastballs. He throws 2, one with the seams that runs away from the right-handers, one a cross-seamer that kind of rises. And he can make the ball break in. It's just that it's not a slider, but it's kind of a cut fastball. And you'll see a lot of balls coming in on the right-handed hitters.
That's rolled toward the right side, but Lopes slides over and makes the play. 1 out.
He's an extremely interesting young man, Jerry Royce. There was a time one day in Las Vegas. He was then with Houston. Leo DeRocha was his manager. When he got me aside and had a long talk with me, and he was thinking about quitting baseball. He and Leo hadn't gotten along.
Jerry Mumphrey pops it up on the right side. It's out of play.
But now today, Royce will tell you that as he looks back, maybe he was the one who was wrong and DeRocha was right and had his best interests at heart.
Changed on him a little there.
Well, both good managers do. And I know in my relationship with Earl Weaver in Baltimore, I've had my moments.
A little sticky.
Yes.
Comes with a fastball, and it's hit to right for a base hit. There's the first hit of the baseball game. Mumphrey with good speed on first base, and Dave Winfield will come to the plate.
Dave Winfield.
How do you pitch to Winfield, Jim?
Very carefully, Keith. I found that the more I saw him play, the more respect I had for him. You know, everybody talks about the money he's making, which is obviously probably the biggest salary in baseball, but he can do so many things well. And at the plate, he likes to get his arms extended. He likes to hit the ball really to center field, and he's not what you would call a pull hitter, and that's not probably the reason he only has 13 home runs. But I try to run the ball away from him, make him aware of the pitch away, and then come in on him. And I had a lot of success, but I saw him hit some home runs both to left field and to right field this year.
Royce changed on him and gets it in for a strike. You see how well he did against Southpaws in the 8 postseason games. He wore them out, didn't
Now
he?
I know why I got him out.
Strike 2. Jerry Royce, when he's on his game, is going to keep that ball low.
Well, his fastball moves better down there. It just has a lot of action down, and when he gets hurt, as the ball to Mumphrey was, it was a little bit up in the strike zone. It wasn't a bad pitch. He kind of fought it off. But it's a lot easier to hit the ball up than it is the one down. You see Mumphrey taking the lead. He stole 56 bases last year. I think it just has not been that daring of a base runner this year.
Well, Jerry Royce keeps it down on Winfield and gets him on a swinging strike.
Dave had 2, for him, very tentative swings.
Well, there's that sailing fastball. And when you're throwing as hard as Royce does and the ball moves, it makes it a lot easier to get the hitter out. And he just chased a bad pitch, but that tells you that Royce has good stuff.
Vanilla steps in now. Lou has had some trouble getting over a case of the flu. Wasn't terribly sick, but one of those kind of experiences that we oftentimes get with the cold, which sort of drains your strength. There's the shot down the right side. It's a fair ball. It's going into the corner. Mumphrey heading for third. There he'll stop. Ball skidded up into the crowd. So it's a ground rule double.
He just guided that ball. You've seen him do it so many times, Jim. He's such a professional hitter.
Well, he is. He just got a fastball, and he'll hit the ball where it's thrown. And I think that interference call is the key. Usually it's the umpire's judgment. I would think that Mumphrey, with his speed, would have had a chance to score.
I think he would have.
Yep. Here's the bounce just inside the chalk and right up into the waiting hands of a paying customer. Runners now, Mumphrey at third, Vanilla at second for Bob Watson. Strike. 2 out. No score.
Now, Watson has a history of hitting Royce very well when Bob was in the National League.
Well, Bob hits everybody pretty well. He has a lifetime 300 batting average going into this season, and has been extremely hot lately. Had some physical problems early in the year, did not get the at-bats.
There's his career average against Royce.
One-two pitch. High fly ball hit well to right center field. Mundy going back to the fence. Leaps and it's gone.
So
Jerry Royce is shocked. He had Bob Watson at 1-2. He hit a high fly ball at about 380 feet.
it was hit. Bob knew it was gone, and the pressure immediately on the Dodgers. There it goes.
Just a fastball out over the plate, which is kind of where Watson likes the ball. He likes to get his arms extended, as we said earlier, most strong hitters do. And what's funny, the flags are blowing to left field, and that ball carried very well.
Nettles. It's a high fly ball to deep right. Mundy at the wall comes in and makes the catch. And so the Yankees strike early on a 3-run home run by Bob Watson to lead it 3-0.
It sounds like boo, but it's really the sweet chant of Lou. Lou Piniella subbing for Reggie Jackson, who's out with an injured leg. But Piniella is the Yankees' second best October hitter and a proven professional who knows how to play the chalk. Mumphrey has to stop at third on the ground rule double, which is Piniella's 17th World Series hit. Now the Yankees are sitting pretty with righty Bob Watson facing a lefty. First base is open and a lefty is on deck, but the plan is to pitch to the bull.
Swung on and a high fly ball into deep right center. Back goes Mundy, away back to the wall. It's gone.
Bob Watson, after 17 professional seasons and more than 1,700 big league hits, becomes the 17th player to homer in his first World Series at bat.
Watson was signed by the Houston Astros in 1965 as a 19-year-old free agent and would make his major league debut the following season. He spent over a decade with the Astros as an outfielder and first baseman, and twice was named a National League All-Star. In 1975, a league-wide contest commemorated the 1 millionth run in baseball history. And on May 4th, Watson was credited with the honor when he hustled to score on a Milt May homer against the Giants in San Francisco, where he beat Dave Concepcion, who had just homered in Cincinnati, by seconds.
It was something that, you definitely don't plan for. And if I hadn't sprinted to score the run from third base, that's how I scored the millionth run.
Ron Guidry stashed to a 3-0 lead on the mound. We asked Ron to characterize himself as a starting pitcher, how he sees his basic qualities.
Well, I'd like to characterize myself and say that after 6 years I've become a good pitcher, not just a thrower like I considered myself to be 77 and 78. I had a great fastball at that time, and since I was new to the league, I just relied on overpowering a lot of teams, most of the teams that I did pitch against. But over the last couple of years, I've realized that you don't have to throw the ball hard all the time to get your outs, so I've become a much better pitcher.
Pre-game comments of Ron Guidry, who now will pitch to the middle of the Dodger order. Steve Garvey, Ron Cey, and Pedro Guerrero. This is where the power is, primarily for Los Angeles, though you'd have to consider Dusty Baker as part of the power. But there's the man whose power gave New York a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning.
Of course, this puts tremendous mental pressure as well as physical pressure on the Dodgers, Jim.
Well, the book on the Yankees is that you can't let them get ahead, and that's already happened.
They play 6-inning games.
Well, I would think that they're going to have to get back into the game, and they, of course, as Keith said, have the 3 guys coming up, and they're all fastball hitters. Maybe, I think there's the wrong impression about Steve Garvey. They handled him very well in 1978. He seemed to be very impatient, swinging at bad pitches. And everybody thinks he's a fastball hitter, but he's one of the best breaking ball hitters in the National League.
Shot off Nettles' gloves. It was a bullet. Greg better check the webbing in his mitt after that one went through it. Garvey's aboard. First Dodger hit.
Too much time to react on that ball.
Still got a piece of it, though, I'll tell you.
When you hit a ball that hard, you hit it with topspin. And the spin alone, unless you catch the ball really solidly in the web, it's going to make it go right into left field. And Guidry is really, out of the first 5 hitters, or really 4 hitters, 3 of them hit the ball hard.
Very sharply.
Ron Cey takes it low, ball 1. Dodgers, I don't think, really understood how much Ronnie Cey meant to them until he was hurt and was not there.
The only one who didn't hit it sharply was Dusty Baker.
High to the right side. Bob Watson with the play. And Bobby calls off. Randolph makes the catch in fair ground. And you've got one out with Garvey at first base.
Well, what's happened is that he has faced 5 batters. The 3 batters that hit the ball hard have all hit sliders. Baker and Seiyu have popped up, have hit his fastball. So I think either Cerrone or Ron Guidry should have gotten the message right now that his slider is not as good as it really can be. And it seems to me they ought to go right to the fastball.
His problem with it is probably location.
Yes, when you throw them down the middle to good hitters, and Dodgers have a lot of good right-handed hitters, you get a lot of trouble.
Pee-wee Reese. Little Colonel. Strike one on Pedro Guerrero, who's been having some trouble with off-speed pitches. Sprays that up in the crowd. Out of play. And Guidry the edge at 2 strikes with 1 out, and Garvey at first base.
Very impressive hitter, this young man, Jim.
Well, he can hit
power in all directions.
Exactly, and he's like most Latin players. They come up, he's a real good high ball hitter, and he jumps on the fastball. He's done that many times in the playoffs, and like he said, he has problems with a good breaking ball. Right there it was.
That was the slider that Garvey would not chase.
That's true, but the count was an 0-2 on Garvey. And here you see an 0-2 pat that makes the hitter a little more aggressive. It's a bad pitch for the hitter, but a good pitch for Guidry.
Rick Mundy, whose dramatic home run won for the Dodgers in Montreal yesterday. It'd be curious, and there's no way, of course, to ever know. But what the physics involved on a cold day of, 42, 43 degrees, hitting a baseball over the center field wall at Olympic Stadium.
Well, it's kind of hard to do. I know we used to play in Chicago where they used to freeze the balls on Sunday. The White Sox were happy because they had a great pitching staff.
Mundy hits it high back of the plate. Cerrone for a look. It's out of play. 2-1. 2-2. Again the slider. And he throws it hard. Garvey at first.
Guidry's come up with another pitch, a changeup, which he's used effectively this year, but I think with a 3-run lead, he's going to go with his 2 best pitches. And right now, it seems to be the fastball, and I would think in this situation, he'd hate to get beat or hurt with a bad slider.
Strikes out Mundy, so he fans Guerrero, and Mundy gets Say to pop out the first baseman. The Dodgers get the leadoff man Garvey aboard on a single, but they cannot move him around against Ron Guidry. And after an inning and a half at Yankee Stadium, New York 3, Los Angeles nothing. Rick Cerrone to lead it off for New York. Larry Milburn will follow, and then Ron Guidry will come up for the first official at-bat of 1981. Jerry Royce, with blue eyes, got a little hard after that swing by Bob Watson. He comes outside and high to Cerrone for ball 1. The wind is blowing almost straight out to left. The home run by Watson, however, was hit to right center. 2 balls and no strikes to Cerrone. Again, Larry Barnett of the American League is back at the plate. And the consistent comment throughout the course of the season was the strike zone is coming down in the American League. Royce burns one in.
You remained convinced of that. You told that to Alfalfa Michaels on a Western Divisional play.
Well, the reason for that, of course, is that they've changed from the outside protector to the inside protector.
Bill Russell at shortstop throws him out.
Number 18.
Now it is Larry Milburn for New York, the shortstop.
Number 18.
I think that amplifies, Jim, your comment about the effectiveness of the Los Angeles starters in the postseason play.
Well, that's the reason they're here. I think right now, after Royce giving up the 3 runs, he's going to have to depend on his team to come back. And they're going to have to do it, as we've said before, early.
Breaking pitch, and it's 1-2. As we look down on Yankee Stadium, one has also, I think, to wonder about the future of Milburn. Is he not in line for the starter's job at shortstop as a result of his play? But Bucky Dent, of course, will give him plenty of competition, I'm sure, when the hand is well and spring comes again. 1-2 pitch up the middle. Knocked down. Royce doesn't know where it is. Now finds it and gets him. And where did it hit him? Is he hurt?
Says he's fine. Milburn so constant in his ability to make contact.
Bill Bueller comes out to have a look at him, and you can see the shot back up the middle.
Just a fastball in the middle of the plate.
Up two.
Yeah. Ow. Not too graceful, but I guess when you're that big, that's the way you stop those kind of balls. I always try to get out of the way.
Got a lucky bounce, but still made an agile recovery.
Pretty good throw, too.
They'll let him have a couple of pitches to see if he's all right. Says so. Late umpire comes back on it. As the night gets cooler, and it will, I presume that the pitchers will be allowed to blow on the throwing hand, will they not? Swings and misses, and Ron right now is in a relatively unfamiliar pose, standing at the plate.
Yeah, but this guy's an athlete. You see his minor league average. He can fool you.
I don't know if he's going to do it right now, though.
He may not.
I know. He is a great athlete.
Gosh, I even saw you get a hit.
I can't remember that far back.
He made contact.
Well, seriously, you talk about if the not having the DH is going to affect the Yankee hitters. I hadn't hit since 1972, and the first guy I got to face in the 1979 World Series was Bert Blyleven. Fly ball to the warning track to me was a moral victory. I mean, I felt so wonderful about that I almost tripped over first base watching it.
Slow curve strikes him out. So Jerry Royce gets the bottom third of the Yankee batting order in order, and after 2 innings, 3-0 New York. Game 2 of the 1981 World Series will be played here at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. You'll see it here on ABC. And now for Los Angeles, Steve Yeager, the catcher, Jerry Royce, the pitcher, Davey Lopes, the top of the order. And as Yeager comes to the plate, wanders through my mind as to whether or not this may not be the last time we see him in a Dodger uniform, because he does not like being a backup catcher. He wants to play for somebody, somewhere. Mike Scioscia has been the Dodger #1 catcher. But Yeager's postseason record is impressive, and he takes strike one.
That's the key. You remember he hurt the Yankees back in '78.
Well, he kept throwing him fastballs, and he's an excellent fastball hitter. And there you saw Guidry's third pitch, the one he's come up with this year, the straight changeup. And the reason it's so successful, he throws so many fastballs. And here you see a picture of Greg Nettles. The reason he is such an excellent third baseman is the depth that he can play.
1-2 pitch, and Guidry has his third strikeout.
Third consecutive strikeout. Well, you don't like to look at Nettles anyway. He's got more home runs against you than anybody else.
Not this year. And here you'll see that slider ahead in the count.
Jerry Royce.
It's a good one, and they chase another bad pitch. That's the same pitch that if the count's 2-0, you're not going to swing it, and he's not going to be throwing it.
Jerry Royce, a 196 hitter in the course of the season, and Guidry's first pitch to it is low for ball 1. 1-1.
And here's the big difference between the leagues as far as I see it. It's been so long since I only faced 8 hitters and a pitcher that it's got to be a lot easier. In fact, you never have an outman. If you have that weak hitter and a pitcher in there, they're almost giving you 2 innings of ball game. In the American League, you no longer have that because of designated hitters.
Royce fouls it back to stay alive at 1-2.
Might have had 10 more career victories.
Or at least pitch a lot more innings. You win a lot more games. You maybe lose a lot more, too, because of the fact you never have to be pinch hit for.
2-2 as the pitch is outside and low.
That's a lovely lady. Name Rachel Robbins, widow of Jackie Roosevelt Robbins.
Royce called out. Tried to check on it. Barnett says you went through it. Yeah, that's 4 straight strikeouts for Didrik.
Here you see a fastball just off the plate inside. I'm not sure if Roy's swing or not. You'll be able to back those way around. And it even looked like he asked for help.
The second baseman.
That's what an umpire has to do if he doesn't really know.
4 consecutive strikeouts. A little chilly, Dave? No.
Hit sharply. Milburn backhands it and throws him out. And so the Dodgers are put away in order in the top of the 3rd inning. After 2.5 in Game 1 of the World Series, New York leads it 3-0. The unflappable one. Bob Lemon. I walked up tonight visiting with him. You know what he wanted to talk about? Handicap. Think about next week. He's back on the links. Second time around for the Yankees now against Jerry Royce, Willie Randolph, Jerry Mumphrey, and Dave Winfield. Two balls and no strikes. Willie rolled out to Davy Lopes at second his first time. Roller to Garvey at first. 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Now Mumphrey, who had singled and was aboard when Watson hit the home run.
The center fielder, Jerry Mumphrey.
Curveball hit to center, drops for a base hit. Mumphrey now 2 for 2. Speaking of Staten Island, Bambi, George Bamberger was named the manager of the New York Mets today.
Turned down a 3-year contract, said he only wanted for 1 year. He proves that he can do the job, will automatically come to a longer term, and assuming his health remains well.
George never taught you the Staten Island sinker, huh, Jim?
No, I wish he had. When you get up in age, you got to cheat. No doubt about it. I was going to cheat this year, and then they changed the rules. You couldn't scuff up the ball or do anything like that. At least I contemplated cheating.
High drive, left field. Baker going back, and makes the catch on the track. Winfield just missed it. Just missed it. Mumphrey goes back to first. Somebody threw a frisbee out on the field as Dusty was going back to make the catch.
That's out of a lot of other places, Jim.
Well, no doubt about it. When you look at Dave Winfield's power statistics, 13 on the year, this is why.
Is it a frisbee? It's a bottle. It's not a frisbee at all. I thought when I first saw it, it was a frisbee. It turns out to be a bottle, and now Tom Lasorda is out. And with no uncertainty at all about what he's talking about.
He is absolutely right. Look at it again.
Well, there's just not any room for that in this game. We had one of our pitchers, Dennis Martinez, hit in the head in Chicago with a beer bottle.
There's no sense talking any longer about sickos like them. It's a matter for immediate arrest, prosecution, period.
Castillo is up now in the Los Angeles bullpen. Boba Castillo. The runner goes. The pitch gets away from Yeager. And Mumphrey slides into second base. Lou Piniella with 2 out, and there's Castillo warming up in the Dodger pen.
Dennis was scared to death, wasn't he?
Well, that's a frightening thing to happen, especially when you have
blindness.
Piniella hit the double. Ball bounced up into the stands for a ground rule double his first time. There's Mumphrey coming off second base. Yankees are leading 3-0 and batting in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's foul. Again, Royce went to the off-speed pitch. That picture coming from the Goodyear Blimp America out of Houston, Texas, with Captain Don Woolley. Out of Dallas, the pilot, and our cameraman is Billy Sullivan. Pretty picture. clear night. And the count is 1-2 on Piniella, sharply to left field. Base hit. Mumphrey turns third. He's coming home, and the throw goes into second. The Yankees lead it 4-0.
Hear them saying Lou, Lou, Lou.
And here you'll see a high breaking ball. Looks like a curveball that if you're going to throw it, you don't want to throw it belt high. He doesn't have hit the ball that hard, but it's a ball up in the strike zone. A good pitch for a hitter to hit.
But as you noted earlier, such a professional hitter. He went to right when pitched there. He went to left. He can go anywhere in the ballpark. Use the whole place.
And Castillo begins to throw with more purpose in the Dodger bullpen. They appeal at third. Third base umpire says, nope, he hit the bag. Doug Harvey. Showing right there where he hit it. Lasorda coming out of the dugout, headed for the mound. Castillo warming up rapidly in the Dodger bullpen. So we've got a timeout for the moment. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of the game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Now we can look at the slow motion.
As you look at the slow motion, you will see Mumphrey go around and go right on that bag. No question about it. The corner of it. He almost tripped as he rounded the bag. Lasorda has waved for a reliever. He had enough, not just on the basis of Piniella's single, but he got a scary lesson with Winfield's blast out past the 387-foot mark, closer to 390 or 395. Baker getting it with his back to the wall. So Royce departs. There's another angle touching the corner of the bag, as you could see.
So while we wait for Castillo, Bobby Castillo, to come in relief of Jerry Royce, we've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment. There are the numbers on Bob Castillo coming out of the bullpen for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He did not have a particularly good year. I think the earned run average reflects that as much as anything. So while he warms up, there's the commissioner, Bowie Kuhn, in his box, still without a coat. Of course, tonight you don't need it. It's quite comfortable. If, of course, you have your woolies on.
Yankees in these playoffs continue to show their enormous depth. Piniella, an example tonight. Jackson out. Right man, right place, right time. And what about this batter? Watson. 3-run homer in the first inning.
Castillo delivers, and it's low for ball one. Incidentally, and having taken a look at the commissioner, today is the 25th anniversary of Louis and Louisa.
And we congratulate him.
4-0 Yankees. The runner goes, and Yeager has no chance. He stole that one off Castillo. Lou Piniella steals a base. I tell you, it's news. He had an enormous lead on Castillo. Bobo never looked at him.
Well, you have to give the catcher a chance, and both stolen bases this inning have been on the first move by the pitcher. And if you don't change your cadence over there, and you don't step off every once in a while, and you don't throw over there, you never give your catcher a chance. And Yeager throws well. He throws almost as well as anybody in the National League. And allow them to get runners in scoring position, especially with a guy like Bob Watson up there. I think it's an interesting move by Tommy Lasorda. Jerry Royce had pitched 3 clutch games down the stretch, all with 3 days rest, which is not the normal 4 in between. And you hate to come out of a ball game, but I have gone back to many seasons where every once in a while you need to get knocked out of a game to get a little bit of rest. And if the Dodgers are going to come back and win this series, not that this game is over with or anything like that, they're going to need a strong Jerry Royce, and it might be the best thing in the world for him and the Dodgers.
Castillo walks Watson.
In the meantime, he doesn't put in Welch this early and in the first game of the series, because he'd be using him up for a time he might need him very quickly later in the series.
Now it's Greg Nettles. He just missed one off Royce. With a fly ball to right, and Rick Mundy caught on the warning track. You've got 2 out, a run in. Yankees leading 4-0, and Nettles fouls it back.
Pretty good swing. course, this is the kind of pitch that Nettles likes to hit, a fastball out over the plate.
I'll tell you, when he gets in a groove, as you know, he is terribly dangerous.
Well, he is a streak hitter and had a great series against Oakland in the American League Championship Series.
High fly ball, right center field, in play. It is Rick Monday, and he makes the catch, and the Yankees strand 2, but they lead after 3, 4-0. Big Bob Watson, who had the big blow in the ball game so far, a 3-run home run. Before the ball game, Howard talked with Big Bobby.
If Georgie Porgy traded you, would you retire? You've indicated to me that you would.
Well, that is something that I've considered. You know, I've played most of my career on a second division club, and I don't see any reason why I should end up my career on a second division club. I haven't talked to George. My man Tom Rich is in town to talk to him on some other matters, and I'm quite sure that's going to be a topic of discussion also. One of the things that I would love to do is stay with the Yankees. I came with the intentions of staying here. I didn't ask for a no trade, but I would love to stay a Yankee and finish out my career here.
Some comments of Bob Watson, who's in the business making cowboy boots. Jerry Klein's wearing a pair of them. He's wearing them because it makes him taller.
You make 14?
Bill Russell, Dusty Baker, and Steve Garvey are the scheduled Dodger hitters now as Ron Guidry comes out for the top of the 4th inning with New York leading 4-0. Bill Russell comes on, rolled out to the shortstop his first time.
The shortstop, Bill Russell.
Notice that index finger is still, he's not able to wrap it securely around the bat. It's sort of extended. And the first pitch from Guidry is low for ball 1. That finger was really smashed. They had to rebuild it. Almost miraculous the way Bill was able to come back and throw with accuracy. Foul back, and it's 1-1.
Well, really, I think there's any criticism about his shortstop playing ability, it is his throwing, and I'm sure probably the finger has something to do with that. A little erratic on his throws every once in a while.
Garvey saves a lot of them coming up with dust on him at first base. That's a slow roller for Nettles at third. On the move. 1 out. And now Dusty Baker, who popped out to the second baseman, Willie Randolph, his first time. Rips it to left, base hit. That is only the second base hit for the Dodgers.
But they know they've got to get something going now. Pretty soon, it becomes 6 innings gone by, and then you face Ron D and Double G.
Steve Garvey had a single off Nettles' glove, a line shot Greg flailed at, but had literally no chance of getting. A 1-1 pitch. Garvey hits it in the air to center field. Mumphrey goes back for it, has a bead and makes the catch. And Baker has to return to first base. 2 down. Guidry now has thrown 46 pitches to the plate. As Tom Lasorda shouts out of the dugout, Ron Cey walks in for Los Angeles here in the top of the 4th. Ronnie came back from that broken forearm and just started rattling base hits right out of the blocks.
He said it really didn't bother him at all. He just reverses that arm thing when he's out in the field because he catches so many balls in front of him.
Piniella has a little struggle with the wind on that high fly ball to right field, but handles it. And so in the middle of the 4th inning, the Yankees lead it 4-0. Scoring summary. First inning, Mumphrey single, Piniella double, 2 out. Watson 3-run home run. Yankees led it 3-0. And then in the 3rd inning, Mumphrey a single, stolen base, stole it off the pitcher, and then Piniella delivers a 2-out single, and that's where we are. 4-0, New York. Sitting there in the back wearing the glasses is Jimmy Cagney, James Cagney. And some of you, I'm sure, probably read that George Steinbrenner had wanted him to throw out a ball, the ceremonial first pitch, and he was reminded by the commissioner's office that politicians and actors and such personalities are generally not accorded that honor. Rick Cerrone, Larry Milburn, and Ron Guidry.
The sign you viewers just saw spoke for itself with regard to Mr. Cagney. I suspect that he will participate in the proceedings tomorrow night.
Pitch is high from Castillo to Cerrone. 2 balls and no strikes.
There is the Yankee clip.
He did throw out the first pitch. Cerrone to the shortstop his first time up. Looks, and it's inside. 3 balls and no strikes. And Cerrone's aboard. Yankees well rested. They closed out the American League Championship Series last Thursday with a 3-game sweep over the Oakland A's. The Dodgers were rained out one day in Montreal and had to finish up yesterday and then came in here. Back it goes to Castillo. Second for 1. Over to first. No. They get the lead runner, Cerrone, pitcher to the shortstop, but miss Milburn at first.
And here you'll see a good hard slide. I'm not so sure that this was as important as Milburn's speed. You'll just see him outrun the ball. And as you said, Howard, he's been very important in the Yankees' success in the last couple of weeks.
Up at the plate, Guidry tries to lay it down and can't do it. With 1 out. They're still looking bunt, and he fouls it off. Yeager trying to come back for the little pop. Steve couldn't get to it.
And I would imagine we'll see Guidry bunt again with 2 strikes on it.
Don't try it. Gets it down this time. Castillo out. Can't go to second. Throws Guidry out at first. And the crowd gives Ronnie a hand. Two down now, and they've got Milburn at the turn for Willie Randolph. It's pretty close. Castillo took a good long look.
Well, it was a high slider. And again, you can see Larry Barnett with the inside protector, and you'll see how low he gets down. You see the center field shot. Just 2 years ago, he had the outside protector, and you just can't get as low, and that's the reason the strike zone is gone down. The umpires, the new umpires, have to wear the inside protector in the American League. The older ones, like Larry, have an option. See, he's down on 1 knee.
And Castillo's high. 2-2 pitch to Randolph. Up high. Full. 3-2. Dave Goetz continues to throw in the Los Angeles bullpen.
Humphrey on deck. He's 2 for 2. Stolen base. Troublesome hitter tonight. Troublesome all year, hitting .307.
Walks him. So Castillo is high. He's faced 6 batters now, Jim, and he's thrown 27 pitches.
Well, I think what happens, Keith, when you get behind in a ball game, you know you can't give up any more runs, and you become a little bit finer. You try to make perfect pitches, and that might be all right if you're a starting pitcher or you have excellent control. But Castillo, as we said before, has always had trouble with control, and you just can't do that.
Tries to come on the outside corner with a screwball and misses, and there's Fernando Valenzuela. It was Castillo who taught Fernando an awful lot about the screwball.
At this point in time, Fernando can teach Castillo much.
True. It's inside. So Bobo is digging himself a hole. You've got Milburn out at second. You've got Randolph at first. You've got 2 out, and all of the damage by the Yankee bats has been done with 2 out tonight. balls and no strikes.
On deck, Mr. David Winfield. He almost put one out of here his last trip to the plate. There is the angular one. Simply, as they now understand in both leagues, a superb all-around athlete.
That he is. Made one of the greatest catches I've ever seen, about 3 rows up in the left field seats.
The bases are now loaded. Ron Perinoski comes to the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and oh, how Tom Lasorda would like to have that big left-hander in the bullpen again. Castillo just cannot get the good pitch in the strike zone. He's becoming frustrated. George Steinbrenner's box, the most photographed private box in the history of sport the last 10 days.
Whatever he does, they win after he does it.
All right, it's a lot of marbles and chalk rolling around right now as Winfield steps in with the bases loaded. 4-0 New York, 2 out. And the heat of the moment is square on the strong shoulders of Bob Castillo. Low, ball 1. That pitch was a closer pitch than the action of Winfield might suggest. There's young Tom Niedenfuhr now up and throwing in the bullpen. He's a youngster that came on a double-A ball.
Hard thrower. It'll be interesting to see what he throws 2-0.
Now you know.
Three balls and no strikes. 34 pitches now by Castillo. He has not been effective. 3-0. Are they going to let Big David go? I would think so. Nope. Pitch caught. The inside corner.
Don't see how you could do that, Keith. Such an uncertain pitcher. 4th ball, you've got to run. Hate to take a look at this one.
But you'd be surprised how many a batter can be walking 4 straight pitchers. The next batter will come up and swing at the first one.
See that? One walks in, and that'll do it for Castillo. 5-0 New York. Time called as Tom Lasorda is going to change pitchers right here. We'll be back. Dave Goltz has now come on, the 3rd Los Angeles pitcher. Royce started, went 2 2/3. Castillo relieved, and Bob Castillo faced 8 batters. Went to a 3-ball count 6 times, threw 36 pitches and walked 5, so he obviously didn't last very long. Yankees are hitting, run having come home on the walk to Dave Winfield to make it a 5-0 ball game. And the numbers you saw on Dave Goltz. Now, he was one of the fellas who came to the Dodgers as a free agent, paid a lot of money for him. He just had a bad year. He's going to have to pitch now to Lou Piniella with 2 out and the bases still loaded. Little looper, Lopes races back, makes the catch, and the Yankees strand 3. But they do get another run. And so, after 4, the Yankees 5, the Dodgers nothing. All right, we'll move to the top of the 5th inning. Guerrero, Mundy, and Yeager for Los Angeles. Guidry still out there. He's allowed the Dodgers only 2 hits so far in the ball game, and he's sitting on a big fat 5-run lead. 5-0. But he's a good, strong youngster who's going to be around a while. Ball is hit pretty well to center field. Mumphrey's on his horse. Jerry going back. He hit it well, but he hit it to just about the deepest part of Yankee Stadium. Death Valley out there, and you've got one out.
Pumphrey, who's a naturally fine fielder, has had his own troubles in center field on different occasions here at Yankee Stadium this year.
I think it's the toughest center field in the league, don't you?
Well, not only is it the biggest, it's also very uneven. You're running out there during the pregame drills and
climbing them out.
Well, up and down and uneven, very hard.
Sharply struck. Great play, Randolph. Look what I found, one hopper for the second out. That's one of those you do it or you don't.
And that's exactly what it was. Look what I found. Backhanded. Took an upward bounce right into Willie's glove.
That's what they call soft hands.
Or luck.
I think luck. Just a high fastball in the middle of the plate. Hit hard. But the balls that have been hit hard have been caught tonight.
Yeager hits it high in the air to the right side. Piniella going back to the wall. It's gone. Home run, Yeager.
So very quietly, Yeager gets the Dodgers a run, and he continues with his exceptional postseason hitting. He's hurt the Yankees before.
Boy, you don't think that big guy isn't happy about that? Ho, ho, ho. Here's Steve Sachs coming to the plate now, a young man who played second base for Los Angeles through much of the second half of the season. And he steps in as the hitter in the pitcher spot.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that means Niedenfuer is still in the pen warming up, and he'll be the next one for the Dodgers.
Number 52.
This is a youngster, I guess, that everybody around the Dodger organization figures is going to succeed Davy Lopes at second base. He's a dandy.
I think that was the most silent home run I've ever heard in the World Series.
Nothing. Sachs hits it high in the air to center field. Wynn seems to grab it and hang it, and Pumphrey makes the catch. And the inning is over. But the Dodgers get on the board with Yeager's home run. 5-1, middle of the fifth. Back with more after this word from our local stations.
And the pitch to Yeager is a high fly ball to right field. Piniella going back. The ball is carrying. He's to the wall. It's gone. A wrong field home run for Steve Yeager.
Big right-hander out there now, and I mean big, 6'5", 220. Tom Niedenfuer. He is the fourth Los Angeles pitcher. Started his professional career in San Antonio in the Texas League, and was 13-3 with 5 saves in 37 ball games, striking out 95 in 90 innings. Up he came. Bob Watson will be the first man he'll pitch to. Greg Nettles and Rick Cerrone follow.
Hard thrower. He's got a fastball and a slider. Again, he's not what you'd call a finesse pitcher. He's coming after him.
Bangs one in there low to make it 1-1. He's out of my alma mater, Washington State. The other, there are 2 Cougars on that Dodger club. Ron Say being the other one. Sharply hit, just past the glove of a stretching Davy Lopes. Bob Watson is wearing him out tonight. He's hit a 3-run home run and he's walked. High fly ball to the right side. Rick Mundy has room. Oh, he just missed another one.
He's been under it 3 times.
All 3 times he has hit a high fly ball to Rick Mundy in right field. 1 out.
And here's a high fastball out over the plate. He dives in, has a good swing. Tells you what kind of stuff Niedenfuer has. Just popped him up. Well, kind of a long pop.
I bet you Reg would like to come up and take a whack at this big right-hander. All right. Cerrone now. With 1 out and a man on first, Bob Watson. And Niedenfuer is in there with a strike. Him up. Billy Russell, the shortstop, drifts back, and Bill makes the catch for the second out.
One of the old great hitters. Batting instructor would look at him. Even there, teaching for the Dodgers. Manny Mota began with San Francisco. What a hitter.
Only 150 pinch hits. That's all.
Through all the years.
I'll bet you he could come up there and still do it.
Of course he could.
Watch him in the cage, how he just reaches out and strokes that thing. Larry Milburn goes to the other side against the right-hander with 2 out, and Watson on first base hits it to Say at third. Ronnie goes the short way, and the inning is over. So the Yankees get Watson on base, but you can't move him along as Niedenfuer comes in to get him. And we've played 5 now with the Yankees on top by a score of 5-1.
Okay. There are some who say Steinbrenner, the Yankee owner, is impossible to get along with. But there are others who seem always able to get along with the Yankee owner. And one of those is the present manager, Bob Lemon. We talked about it.
What about you yourself? You seem to have a very rare ability, the ability to get along with Georgie Porgy.
Well, he's been very good to me. I have no squawks, and he lets me run the ball club. He makes suggestions, and if I think they warrant use, well, I use them. If they don't, well, I don't use them.
What about your future as the Yankee manager? So much written about you as an interim manager, so much talk about Dick Williams. What is your future in your mind, and does all of the talk unsettle you?
It doesn't unsettle me. I still have another year to go on my contract. And I read in the paper today that George has talked to some other people and said, I'm his boy, I'll be back. But those things don't bother me because I know that when you're manager, certain things can happen, and I could be back in Long Beach before the first snow falls.
But you'll be in my golf tournament.
Oh, sure. And I'll be in George's heart.
He'll be in what, George's heart?
Heart.
Well, there may be some question whether he has one.
No.
Oh, I'm only joking. Only kidding. I admire him. He played by the rules and built a very successful dynasty.
All right, top of the 6th. Leadoff man, Russell, Baker, Garvey, Say. Let's see if they can get back in this game. Because next inning, it becomes RD and GG time.
Up the middle it goes. Randolph backhands it. Another nice play by Willie.
You talk about what makes a good pitcher. It's good defense, playing the hitters where they're going to hit the ball. Randolph shading up the middle. Doesn't have to go that far, but still makes a fine play and an excellent throw.
1 out for Bill Russell. But note the economy of pitches by Guidry. Russell hits it in the air to the right side. Lou Piniella coming toward the line. 2 down.
That's getting them out in a hurry, James.
Well, when you get 5 runs on the board early and you have a 5-1 lead, you have a little bit more confidence. You go after them. I'm sure if the score was tied, he'd be a little bit finer, maybe trying to make a little bit better pitch. But right now, they're trying to be aggressive. They're trying to get back in the game by getting a big inning, and that usually means we're swinging for home runs. Ball 1.
2 balls and no strikes. Only Dodger run. Yeager's home run. It fell over the right field fence. 3 balls and no strikes, and this is the first time in the ball game that Ron Guidry has gone to a 3-ball count on a hitter. And we are in the top of the 6th. Well, he walks his first.
A touch of interest.
The first baseman, Steve Garvey.
You can see how good Guidry's control has been this year. But now a touch of interest because Garvey is, in truth, ever dangerous.
Fouls it back. He was looking fastball on the first pitch. He got fastball and he missed it. Strike two. 1-2 pitch to Garvey. So the crowd roars as Ron Guidry comes up with a strikeout of Steve Garvey to end the top of the sixth, and the Yankees lead it 5-1.
I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you know? It's the original taste that I love so. And the taste is making peppers everywhere I go. There's guitar pepper, star pepper.
Next to a strike, here's what I like.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Ball peppers, tall peppers, small peppers, we're all peppers. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Woo-hoo! Be a pepper.
Ron Guidry, the pitcher for the Yankees, leads off the inning. That's another new experience for the Yankee pitcher. And he swings through it and misses. Niedenfuhr is on the mound for the Dodgers. He is the fourth Los Angeles pitcher. Guidry has struck out swinging and sacrificed. Look here. Guerrero comes in and makes the catch. So Pedro had him played well on the left center and pulls it down, but the crowd gives the Yankee pitcher a hand anyhow.
Told you he's an athlete.
I must have watched him in batting practice. That's where he hit every ball, left center.
Willie Randolph now the top of the order with Mumphrey to the on-deck circle. One ball and two strikes. I don't know if the Yankees get out of this ball game and win this ball game without having to go to Davis and Gossage. That just makes their riches richer, doesn't it, Jim?
Well, it sure does. I think the key is to try to get Davis in one of these games early so they can't use him in back-to-back ball games.
Willie hits it well to left. Baker going back. Dusty has his eye on it and pulls it down short of the fence for out number 2. Now it's Jerry Mumphrey, who's been busy. Pair of singles, scored twice, stolen a base, and walked. Yankees, one of the few teams I've seen around baseball recently that literally use a sledgehammer in the on-deck circle. That's lifted toward Baker and left. And Dusty makes the catch. So that's only the second time of the ball game the Yankees have gone down in order. And after 6, it's 5-1 New York. It'll be Say, Guerrero, and Mundy for Los Angeles. Before the game, Howard talked to Ronnie Say.
Ron, you had the problem with the radius, the forearm, and yet you seem to have come back so strongly. How do you account for it?
Well, Howard, I tell you, once I did break the radius, I started talking at length with Dr. Jobe about the potential possibility of my return and what I could look for in terms of things I could do while I was still in the cast. And that whole 5-week period that I was out was really one of mental preparation for the time that I would return. I knew the time that I needed to come out of the cast. I did a lot of jogging. I did a lot of exercising while I was still in the cast. The therapy to regain my full range of motion in the wrist after the cast came off only took about 4 days. And within a week, I was hitting. And it just went so well. I was very pleased with the whole recovery period.
Pre-game comments of Ron Say, who swings and misses on the first pitch from Ron Guidry.
Well, he certainly made himself a factor in the playoffs very quickly.
He sure did. 2-2. Full count now. Alejandro Pena is now throwing in the Los Angeles bullpen, young right-hander, and George Frazier continues to throw in the New York pen. There's Pena.
The New York pen is what interests me. One would expect Davis to be getting up momentarily.
Line down the left field line, going to the corner. Say turns first. Winfield's on the ball. Say going to second. Throw comes in. He's out.
That ladies and gentlemen, and you'll look at it again, is why David Winfield is now acknowledged to be one of the great athletes in all of baseball. He can do everything. This evidence, watch him, right down the left field foul line.
Well, he has a great throwing arm. Not only great, but accurate. I'm not so sure he's out, but the umpires seem to think so. And this is against one of the cardinal rules of base running.
Exactly.
You only go to second if you can make it. It's like leading off with a double and trying to stretch it into a triple. Looks safe to me.
Pitch to Guerrero.
I didn't see a lot of protesting by Say. Maybe missed the bag.
Foul back. 1-1. Well, you're down 5-1. You should be pretty sure when you take that shot at it. I don't know. They haven't seen Winfield. Of course, they knew Winfield when he was at San Diego, and there were the persistent conversation that Winfield was going to become a Dodger. Remember? That's close. Second base.
Well, it just kind of turns the inning around. You just don't have any pressure on Guidry. He ran a count to 3-2, which he hasn't done very often tonight. Kind of threw in. Took a little bit off a fastball, and Say ripped it in the corner and made a bad pitch. Winfield made a great throw, and you're...
That's what I expected, Jim. Ron Davis now working in the bullpen. No more with George Frazier. Look at that postseason record.
Guidry now wobbling. He has walked Guerrero. So once again, that effort of Ron Say to get to second base, the throw by Winfield takes on more and more importance.
Don't forget, Guidry has not had a complete game since July 23rd, 1980. And as he begins to tire, he begins to force. Jimmy, you're a great pitcher. You don't have to be told that. It's obvious that he begins to force himself and maybe even seek to overthrow. Not seek to, but overthrow, right?
Well, he's gone 3-2 on Say and 3-1 and then walked Guerrero. He's only gone 7 innings or more 7 times this year.
That's Bonnie Guidry, who begins to show a little bit of concern. Yet he threw that last pitch 92 miles an hour. How fast can you still throw?
I haven't asked lately, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you, that thing snapped off outside and created a rather feeble swing by Monday, didn't it?
Well, that was a pretty good pitch, Keith. As we said earlier, it's probably usually his best pitch is his slider. And you can usually get left-handers. If you're left-handed, you can get left-handers out pretty well with that pitch.
Dodgers get in this game. They need Monday to jerk one here. He would still be in the hunt.
Really, what's interesting is Landreau, who usually plays center field, I think was 6 for 20 lifetime off Guidry. It's not even in the lineup. And maybe, I guess, Tommy Lasorda thought that because Rick got a clutch hit yesterday, in fact, the game to hit to really get him in.
Oh, Kenny hasn't hit much lately. He's had some trouble with this stick. 1-2 pitch. Got it. Yeah, that's 6 strikeouts for Guidry. 2 down for Steve Yeager, who is the only man to have really damaged Guidry in the ball game. Hit a home run in the 5th. Here's the strikeout of Monday.
I call that a nasty slider.
All of Guidry's 6 strikeouts have been swinging.
See him slow up on that, Jim?
Well, when you're a good pitcher, and I think the point that Ron made in the interview was that he's changed. He's not a thrower anymore. He's a pitcher. The guy hits a fastball for a home run. You come back with an off-speed pitch.
That's shot down the left side. Foul ball.
But not the hanging slider.
Well, he didn't like himself when he was a thrower. He only won 25 and lost 3. Struck out 19 in 1 game. That's not too shabby.
Reggie Smith now to the on-back circle to hit in the pitcher spot.
I think he had the best pitcher, the best year that I've ever seen a pitcher have.
Yeager hits the ball in the air to the right side for Lou Piniella. And the inning is over. So the Dodgers now have stranded 4 base runners at the ball game. The Yankees lead in the middle of the 7th, 5-1.
It's the one event that more than any other brings out the youth in all of us. Baseball fever. Catch it. It's worth it.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
A look down on Yankee Stadium from the Goodyear Blimp America with Captain Don Woolley flying that big baby out of Dallas, Texas. Billy Sullivan up there with him.
Quite a view. Fred Barber moved over from Ebbets Field, left his job with the Dodgers, joined Mel Allen at Yankee Stadium, a memorable broadcasting team, and Red promptly called it the big ballpark. Nobody's ever changed it. It's what it is.
Winfield, Piniella, Watson against big rookie right-hander Niedenfuhr. 2-1 the count on Winfield.
I thought the Dodgers would come in here much more alive than they've been, in the manner of the Giants in '51 after the Bobby Thompson home run, when Monty Irvin stole home and the Giants won the opener. But it hasn't happened this time.
Pops him up. Yeager comes back. Steve's got to play. 1 out.
Right fielder.
And here comes Lou Piniella. Hear that? Ooh, sounds like ooh, but it's not. You know how Lou Piniella defines his hitting ability? You ask him what kind of a hitter are you? You know what he says? He's a guess hitter.
All good hitters usually are. They have enough confidence in their ability to think they know what's coming, and they'll go up there and look for a pitch. Maybe give the pitcher a strike or two. A lot of young hitters go up there. They want to swing at everything.
You know, Jim, you have to wonder if maybe despite their protestations, they really are emotionally tired at the very least, and physically too, after the 2 long series.
Fly ball deep center. Guerrero turns the wrong way and hangs up there long enough for Pedro, and now he makes the catch. We're out number 2.
The first baseman, Bob Watson.
What do you think, Jim?
I don't know. I think that the 3-run home run in the first inning not only physically puts you 3 runs down, but mentally you go up there with a lot different attitude. I know that the last thing you want to do if you're a pitcher is put your club 3 runs down in the hole. I'm sure that Jerry Royce knows that too, but sometimes it happens.
Bob Watson stands in. Hit to the right side for Rick Monday. So Niedenfuhr gets him in order again, and the score remains 5-1 after 7. Back with more series action after this word from our local stations. A crowd of some 56,470 just applauded as big right-hander Ron Davis comes on, and just look at the numbers. That tells you how effective he's been in postseason play. Darryl Thomas will be the first man to face him. Reggie Smith was out as a possible pinch batter a little while ago, but didn't get a chance to come to the plate. And now here's Darryl Thomas, who can play anywhere, anytime, well for you. Tell you what Davis has done. He's faced 33 batters, retired 28, allowed 1 single, walked 4.
Got a little upset when Billy Martin played the stalling game, and the umpire, and that's what really got him upset, wouldn't let him warm up, take a few warm-up pitches. Said it would have been a further stalling tactic by Davis.
Thomas is up there now. Darryl has played every position in the infield, I guess, but first base. Played center field. And probably, if something disastrous happened, would be the number 3 catcher. for the Dodgers. Davis comes with his first moment of heat, and he misses low for ball one as Alejandro Pena stays in the Los Angeles bullpen, and he'll be the next Dodger pitcher.
Thomas could conceivably be a guy to play all 9 positions.
Good. Wanted to, I think. Circumstances being a little different, I think, this year.
Right.
They might let him.
Only 2 guys that I know of have ever done that. And I'll bet you Jim Palmer knows it. Cesar Tovar.
Oh, I know that. Then I know the other. Bert
Campaneris. You got it.
Oh, yes.
Way to
One
go.
out of 2 is not bad.
Davis goes to 3 balls and no strikes on Thomas.
Well, there's not a whole lot of mystery to Ron Davis. He's just going to throw the ball about 93 miles per hour. I don't think he hardly ever throws any breaking balls. He does have a slider. Never uses it because it's not his #1 pitch. And most of the times when you are a short reliever or a middle reliever, you come in situations where you want to get beat, if you're going to get beat on your best pitch.
There's a strike. 3-1. Well, the hour is late for the Dodgers. They're trailing 5-1, and they're up in the top of the 8th inning.
Ron says he hasn't thrown 10 curveballs all season.
Well, Thomas, of course, here is trying to get on. They had something going last inning. I would think that the leadoff batter is the most important batter that a pitcher can face.
Well, Thomas works into the walk.
Look for the Goose to get working.
Now we'll go to the top of the order for Davy Lopes. The phone has rung in the pen.
And there he is.
The man who answered the phone.
Goose who hangs high.
It'll be interesting to see if Davy Lopes is taking here.
Cerrone will go to the mound and have a visit with his big right-hander.
This is very interesting, Keith. All of a sudden, make an easy game hard.
Well, that can make a hard game easy, I guess.
Maybe. We'll see.
Throws it outside. Thomas breaks, goes to second.
Now Davis is in deep trouble. He simply can't get control of his pitches.
Well, earlier when Bob Castillo for the Dodgers had his control problems, he at least tried to throw another type of pitch, come up with a slider or a curveball. Ron Davis doesn't have that luxury. He basically is a fastball pitcher, and I would doubt if Bob Lemon will go with him very long.
I doubt it too. He does if he doesn't have it.
Well, he's thrown 8 pitches and 7 of them have been outside of the strike zone. He gave a pass ball there, advancing Thomas.
Only time I've seen him do this was when he was used on consecutive days. Once during the season at Fenway Park and once against the Brewers.
He's walked Lopes. So the Dodgers now with Thomas working Davis for a walk. Lopes works him for a walk, and Bob Lemon has taken a walk to the mound.
Decisions.
Bob go out as a umpire. Lemon will go out as a umpire. Gossage is going to come, looks like. Yep. So Ron Davis comes out of the pen. He is ineffective. Goose Gossage is summoned from the bullpen, and the first man he will pitch to will be Jay Johnstone. So we've got a timeout at Yankee Stadium. The Dodgers trying to stir it up in the top of the 8th inning, trailing 5-1.
Your attention, please.
So here's the Goose, Rich Gossage, whose postseason performance has been every bit as impressive as that of Ron Davis. Davis was not impressive on this night. Couldn't find it. Didn't have it. Before the game, Howard talked to the Goose.
I must say, Goose, you looked positively awesome against the Brewers and against the A's. Is it possible that you're throwing harder even than ever before? That you have a sense of strength that you've never even had within yourself before?
Well, I don't think so, Howard. I've always been a power pitcher, and I've never ever altered my style of pitching towards anyone. I felt that if we got through the Brewers, I felt that that was going to be the best team that we were going to play if we made it to the World Series or whoever won that other division over there. Milwaukee had an awesome ball club. The whole lineup could hurt you. I felt that I really got psyched up more so for them than I did anybody else. But they're a fine ball club, and I just I don't alter my style of pitching. Back to that old same question again. I don't alter my style of pitching towards anyone, and I go out there and air it out for 2 innings, and I don't worry about anything.
Jay Johnstone steps in as the pinch hitter for Bill Russell, the shortstop, which probably means Darrell Thomas will go in to play that position. And Gossige's first pitch is a strike. The second pitch is ball 1. It's 1-1 to Jay Johnstone.
Doesn't alter his style. He goes out and airs it out for 2 innings. He's going to have to do that now.
He's high to go 2-1. He comes out of the pen, though. This is the thing that makes him so awesome. He comes out throwing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, according to
Not even loose yet.
That's fouled away out of play. Hits the ball to right field, drops for a base hit. Thomas turns third. He's coming home. Lopes goes to third. 5-2 New York. Johnstone gets the call and does his job.
Fastball in the middle of the plate.
The left fielder.
Definitely looking fastball.
Now it's Dusty Baker. Then Steve Garvey. Nobody out. 5-2 ball game.
No quitting this team. Hearts begin to beat in Los Angeles, but there it is.
High fly ball to right center for Piniella. Tagging at third, Lopes. He's coming. 5-3 ball game. One out. Johnstone at first. And here's Steve Garvey. Garvey alone. What a play by Nettles at third base. I've never seen such a burglar.
He really is, isn't he? Oh, did Garvey get that pitch?
Well, this ball is really hit.
Oh.
And they always said that third base was reaction type of position. Don't see too many better plays than that.
Whoa. Well, he had a great hand in beating the Dodgers with defensive play in '78, particularly Game 3, if you remember. The crowd is standing for Nettles' play.
Not only that, how it must haunt Lasorda. He must think he's turned the calendar back 3 years.
Ron Saya now with 2 out.
You'd always also have to question how well Gossage is throwing. There are 2 balls.
2 shots
have been pulled.
Say.
I think you touched on it earlier. He wasn't really loose.
Well, I think when you bring Ron Davis in, you don't expect to get into the ball game as soon as he was called for.
1-2. Ball game. Johnstone's on first. Dodgers have scored twice in this inning. Say hits a bouncer toward Nettles. Goes to second. And the inning is over. Dodgers have one more chance in a 5-3 ball game.
Goose Gossage takes a gander at the Dodgers' #1 run producer, Steve Garvey. Nettles, that magnificent man in his pinstripe machine, gives fans and players alike an unmistakable feeling of deja vu. This phenomenal play is strikingly similar to Nettles' acrobatics in the '78 series, when he and his gloves seemed possessed of mystical power.
Right to Nettles. Hit that ball hard. Had him played perfectly.
Gittery's pitch to Smith. Ground ball to third. Nettles dives, backhands it, gets up. Long throw to first. He got him. Another magnificent fielding play by Greg Nettles.
One strike pitch to Garvey. Hit hard once again. Nettles will go to second. He just gets the rush sliding runner to retire the side. Greg Nettles with quite a defensive display that inning once again. The bases are full. Gerald Nettles with a great play. The dial to get the run and save 2 runs. What a display by Greg Nettles, the Yankee third baseman, who's making a believer of even Tom Seaver. He is absolutely fabulous.
I don't believe it. What he has done in the last 2 days, it's unbelievable. Watch him go to his right again. Another shot down the line. It's unbelievable what he's done, the plays he's made behind the pitchers on the Yankee pitching staff.
The ball is crushed. He got an in-between hop. He gets the force out at second base to save 2 runs. So the Yankees retain the lead as we go to the last of the 6th here at Yankee Stadium. It's the Yankees 2, the Dodgers 1. Wow.
Here is the 5th Dodger pitcher, Dave Stewart, who only warmed in the last part of the previous inning, so he has not thrown that many pitches, but he is big and he is strong and he can flat fog it home. At shortstop now is Darrell Thomas, as we suggested a little while ago, replacing Bill Russell. And Stewart will be pitching to Greg Nettles, who made the great play at third on Garvey's shot, Rick Cerrone and Larry Milburn. Stewart, I'm sure everybody in Los Angeles remembers, was the losing pitcher in 2 games against Houston.
I'll tell you, it's always this way, Jim, isn't it? The great play, then the guy gets up. And Nettles made an almost equally great play on Ted Simmons in the start of the Milwaukee Brewers series. He does it almost by habit. I thought Lasorda was going to come out and count the number of men on the field. 37 years old. The whispers at the start of the year, he had lost a step. He was through. Instead, he's had an absolutely great year.
All right, let's see what Dave Stewart does with him. Nettles has hit 3 fly balls to Rick Monday in right field. 2 of them he just missed, I think. Swings through that one for strike 1. I thought young Tom Niedenfuhr did a good job. He pitched 3 innings, allowed only 1 hit.
Well, he did do his job. He kept them in the game, and they're back in it. And right now, it's Stewart's job to do the same thing.
He's got Nettles in the hole at 2 strikes.
95 miles an hour. It's like the goose. He throws a Hummer.
He's a good athlete. Just kind of the way he moves. Very graceful athlete. 2-2. Stewart had him in the hole at 0-2, and now he's gone to a full count. Cerrone is on deck. Nettles leading off. Bottom of the 8th for the Yankees. They lead 5-3. So Stewart, with a 2-strike edge on Nettles at 0-2, walks in.
The catcher, Rick Cerrone.
Cerrone steps in. Hitless tonight. Tomorrow night it'll be Bert Hooton, the knuckle curve bowler for the Dodgers, against Tommy John, the sinker bowler. goes into the University of Texas Hall of Honor November 21. This year he became eligible for the Hall of Honor. He graduated 10 years ago, and he's instantly being put there. 2-strike pitch to Cerrone. Ball is hit to short center. Guerrero coming in a hurry to make the catch. That thing was hanging and hanging, and Pedro just kept pumping and pumping, and sure enough he was able to get there.
Well, Cerrone certainly didn't do his job, leaving the runner stuck at first.
Well, I think Mr. Stewart's 95-mile-per-hour fastball had something to do with that. He just kind of ran it in on him and
sawed him off, didn't he?
That he did.
All right, Larry Milburn from the left side against the right-hander. To Darrell Thomas, steps on the bag at second, goes to first for the double play, and the inning is over. And so we'll go to the ninth. 5-3 ball game. All right, we'll go to the top of the ninth inning for the Dodgers. It'll be Guerrero, Mundy, and Yeager against the Goose. A 5-3 New York lead. Foul upstairs, out of play. We have a note given us from the commissioner's office, I would presume, which confirms the fact that Cagney will throw out the first ball. James Cagney will throw out the first ball tomorrow night. And furthermore, they say that despite reports that he was denied the privilege of throwing it out tonight, it was not so. That they had waited until the commissioner had discussed it with George Steinbrenner. The decision has been made that Mr. Cagney will throw out the ball tomorrow night.
I knew that earlier, Keith, but refrained from saying so in deference to the commissioner putting out the statement.
Where'd all that nonsense come from the first inning?
I don't know, but Gossage is playing with some nonsense now because the hitter on deck is Rick Mundy, and that's no nonsense.
3-2 now to Guerrero.
Rick can hit one out even if it's Tuesday.
3-2. Strikes him out. Threw the fastball in on the hands and got him.
And this is why Gossage is so effective. The ball will just run into the right-hander. It looks like it's over the plate. When it finishes, you can see Cerrone having to reach for it inside.
Rick Mundy.
If they lose, Tommy will breathe fire. They didn't show us that much. We had them. Our pitchers held them after that first inning.
The Yankees have been quiet since the bottom of the fourth. Bob Watson's 3-run home run, still the big blow of the ball game. To the on-back circle, left-handed hitter. Fouled away. We're just past 11 o'clock Eastern time. Local news will be on for you as soon as our game is done. Game 1 of the 1981 World Series. Yankees are leading it 5-3. Last chance for the Dodgers. 1 out.
Howard, you mentioned earlier why they don't bunt on Nettles. He's 5 or 6 steps behind the bag. Mundy, who has pretty good speed, didn't take advantage of it. I think that if this series goes 6 or 7 games, they're going to have to bring Nettles in closer to home plate. Try to hit some balls by him. You can't allow him to play as deep as he did.
On the outside corner, and Mundy is not pleased.
Doesn't matter whether he is or not, it's been called. The whole story on the Goose tonight was Davis had to be gotten out of there so quickly. The Goose had not, as Jim Farmer said, had time properly to warm up, to loosen up. Now the Goose is thrown.
That thing had a pretty good run off the outside.
Well, I remember Hank Bauer telling Davy Johnson when he took a 3-2 fastball with the bases loaded, it's close enough for the umpire to call. It's close enough for you to swing.
2 down for the Dodgers in the top of the 9th inning. The Yankees on top 5-3. And Kenny Landreau is up there for ball 1.
Pesty hitter, David Johnson.
1-1.
41 or 43 home runs for Atlanta one year. Right after we traded him.
Wasn't that amazing?
Goose in the ball. Pitcher. Royce, we'll be back after this commercial and a word from our local station.
While Yankee fans celebrate, Lasorda is left to dream of what might have been. In reality, though, the Dodgers still trail by 2, and the rest is just a formality. It's 1981's 5th straight postseason win for the Yankees, and also their 5th straight World Series triumph over the Dodgers. Give the win to Guidry with assists from Gossage and Nettles as the home team wins Game 1 for the 7th straight year.